Your drafts will have imperfections in them. AVTT offers several ways to fix these imperfections. The one we will look at right now can be very useful when you have too much silence in your translations or any other unwanted sounds. AVTT allows you to trim off certain parts of your drafts to get rid of unwanted sounds, like silence. You will notice in my translation that there is a large amount of silence between these two phrases and between these two phrases. If I want to trim out that silence, I can go to the segment that I want to trim the silence off from, and then click on this button in the Segments Editor. This will open up the Adjust Segment Start and End dialog. This dialog allows you to trim out parts of your video. You will notice that there are 4 different controls here. They each allow you to adjust a different part of a segment. The first one allows you to adjust the end of the previous segment. The next one allows you to adjust the start of the current segment. The next one allows you to adjust the end of the current segment. And the last one allows you to adjust the start of the next segment. By adjusting where your segments start and end, you can trim out parts of your drafts. There is a large amount of silence between the previous segment and where we start speaking in the current segment. If we wanted to trim that out, we can adjust where the previous segment ends and where the current segment starts. To do that, use the black circles that are shown at the bottom. You can click and drag them to adjust where a segment starts and ends. You drag them to where you want the boundary to be of that segment. In this case, we adjusted the previous segment's end so that it ends shortly after the phrase ends. And we adjusted the start of the current segment so that it starts just before the start of the phrase. There is also a large amount of silence between the current segment end and the next segment. We will also adjust that. So now we adjusted our segment so that the previous segment ends right here, and the next segment starts right here. This means that this whole area in here has now been cut out of the translation. And this area over here has also been cut out. We will click the check mark to save our changes. You will notice that there is less silence between these two phrases, and some less silence between these two phrases. You can always open the Adjust Segment Start and End dialog again if you want to make further changes.